Hi, my name is Brandon,
My name is Kevin.
and this is Ohana Talk Podcast. Technically, it's episode 0 because we're still working out the kinks.
Yeah, so bear with us. We'll just start by the reasoning behind the name Ohana Talk Podcast. Uh, Brandon and I, our favorite movie is Disney movie is Lilo and Stitch. So we value the meaning behind Ohana. And is there anything you want to add behind that?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite Disney movie,
Ah,
but I do love Stitch in general. I love Lilo and Stitch,
mm-hmm.
but I just like the meaning of Ohana.
Mm.
I want our podcast to kind of like symbolize that as well as like the community we make is more like a family, or any guests we bring on feels like a family. I want it to be more intimate. Of course, we're both nerds at heart. We love talking about TV shows, movies, Marvel, Star Wars. Star Wars is the first
Anime.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Anything pop culture wise. But when we bring guests on, or if we have guests on the future, I want it to be have a more intimate conversation, more deep. Instead of having like a surface level conversation, I want to get to know them, get to know why they love those type of movies, or just anything in general about them.
Or what make that movie impact their life or and so and so.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I think that's kind of like the meaning behind Ohana Talk podcast. So bear with us in the beginning. There might be some kinks. There might be some issues here. I do have a background. I am a content creator, but this is a whole different ball game. So
It's definitely a whole ball game for me. So I'm actually excited because Brandon and I, we always talk about movies. So it's like, why not just do it here and share our thoughts with you guys? And then anything you guys have something to share with us, just let us know in the comments below.
So our first segment on the podcast is going to be on How to Train Your Dragon. We watched an early screening of How to Train Your Dragon, so we're going to just tell you guys if you should watch it or skip it.
I say watch it. It's not as good as the animation, but for it being, if it was a standalone movie, it'll be good. It's a good movie.
What would you put it on like a scale of 1 to 10 if you were to rate it?
I would rate it actually a 9 out of 10.
9. So is the original a 10 out of 10?
The original is 10 out of 10 for me. It's just the writing's so good, the story's so good. Like that one scene with Hiccup and Toothless flying, it still gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. So yeah, I say watch it.
For me, I would still say watch it. But I'm just not a fan of, honestly, I'm not a fan of live action remakes, and this solidified it. If anyone doesn't know, this one is like a 1-to-1 comparison. It's literally the same movie, just in live action. The animated version is better in every single way. Every single way. Like emotionally, I wasn't invested because I already knew what was gonna happen before it happened, and that ruined it for me. And I don't know. I feel like the scenes that were the best, like the flight scene, like the first flight scene, and then the fight scene with Astrid, just weren't as beautifully animated, and just you can't make it look as good in live action because the animation is flawless. And I just felt like the cutting of it wasn't as great either, and the pacing wasn't as good. I felt like the movie was a little too long. Um, and I think I just prefer if a live action remake were to actually make changes instead of a 1-to-1. So I guess my follow up question is: do you prefer this movie or Lilo and Stitch?
I prefer this movie over Lilo and Stitch.
See, I'm the opposite. Whereas I actually like Lilo and Stitch more because they made changes, and it kind of gives it a purpose for why it exists. As to this one, like there's no reason they should have made it.
Mm.
It's a great movie, and my friend Dom, she was at the screening as well. She's never seen How to Train Your Dragon. She gave it 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. But I was like, no, you need to watch the animated. Animated is way better. So of course, the one thing that I do like about the live action remakes is that audiences that maybe have not seen the animated movies before
Yeah.
are giving this movie a chance, and then I'm hoping they're gonna give the animated movie a chance. So do you prefer the live action How to Train Your Dragon or the live action Lilo and Stitch?
The How to Train a Dragon. When I watched it, it gave me the same feeling I had with One Piece, the live action One Piece. The character, the designs, the world designs is phenomenal. It's spectacular.
So you're on the edge, or you're on the side where you'd rather it be true to the source material as opposed to changing things?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the other side of the spectrum because I like the Lilo and Stitch live action better just because they made changes to the story. And even though a lot of people didn't agree with those changes, it kind of gives it a purpose for existing. Whereas like if you're just doing a shot for shot remake, why would you make something worse? It just, I don't know. I'd rather have the director have their own creative freedom to it. And I feel like, yeah, I'd just rather watch the animated movie over this one. And I agree. I would rather watch the live animated movie for Lilo and Stitch as well. But that one had changes. So it's like, it kind of shows why it exists.
Yeah, but Jumba though.
Jumba
looks horrible.
Okay, 100% Jumba's accent was terrible. I don't know. They should have definitely cast somebody that had a better accent or at least done an accent for Jumba. And that bothered me, but still, like, there's no reason for How to Train Your Dragon live action
So
to
you're
exist.
okay with no Gantu?
Honestly, the no Gantu did not bother me at all. He was a big part of the other story, but they can easily make another movie and have him come in, and then they could redeem Jumba. So everyone was upset because Jumba is a bad guy at the end of the movie.
How about the ugly duckling story?
Okay, I really wish there was an ugly duckling story. I 100% agree with that. But it would have made the movie better, but it doesn't like make or break the movie. It doesn't. The core story, the core meaning of that movie still exists. It's still Ohana. Like, no matter what they're saying about the ending, Ohana still is in the movie.
I don't know though, but I feel like the ugly duckling was the core thing for Stitch. Like, you know, where he's all of a sudden like, oh, I'm sad because I'm alone, and that ugly duckling is the pinnacle of like Stitch's change from him being a menace to now wanting a family.
Yes, but they kind of did the ugly duckling story without doing the ugly duckling story because Stitch gets sad, he leaves, he goes back to the cage, and he's all alone. So they still have that storyline, and it still shows that he's sad and he's alone without having the. Of course, it's gonna be better with the ugly duckling storyline, but there was still so many aspects of the film. Okay, the clear difference between Lilo and Stitch live action and How to Train Your Dragon live action was there was moments in Lilo and Stitch that I've never seen before. So the part where Stitch drowns and goes down to the water and he does the little
That was
symbol,
actually pretty cool.
I got
Yeah,
very
that was
emotional on
actually
that
pretty
part.
cool.
And that
agree
was
with
nowhere
Yeah.
in the animated movie. Whereas in the How to Train Your Dragon, there was no moment I was emotional because I knew exactly what was going to happen.
But to see it though,
It looks better in animation.
I mean, 100% agree. But you got to admit, the dragons look really nice. I
It
take
looks
that
better
back.
in animation.
Took that back because I wish what they did to the other dragons, like what they did to Toothless, I wish they did that to the other dragons.
I didn't care about any of the other dragons.
Because the other
in the movie.
dragons looks too much of a dragon where it's not cartoony compared to Toothless.
Yeah, like that fat ass dragon.
Yeah.
that fat dragon.
Yeah.
That fat dragon was
Yeah.
not cartoonish enough for me.
Yeah.
But just in general, I just didn't care about the other dragons. I mean, I feel like I was just not connected to the characters in the same way that I was connected in the animated movie.
I do agree with you on the tone, the pacing, because I feel like because it was shot for shot, that the dialogues were just there. It's like a copy and paste kind of thing. But I don't know. I still love the movie.
I feel like they were just doing check marks. Like when I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, this happened, so now I know he's gonna fly with Astrid. And then at the end, the climax of the movie, when Hiccup falls, I'm like, oh, Toothless is gonna save him. He's not gonna have his foot. They're gonna reveal it, and it's just didn't hit the same for me. I've rewatched the animated movie sometimes. I still feel emotional every time I watch it, but with the live action, it just didn't hit for me.
Yeah.
And how to Train Your Dragon, guys. In general, I'm not a How to Train Your Dragon hater. I prefer How to Train Your Dragon animated movie over the Lilo and Stitch animated movie. I think How to Train Your Dragon is one of the best trilogies, if not the best trilogy made.
No, it is the best trilogy ever.
Yeah, like the beginning is great, and then the middle movie is like okay to me. Like there's good parts of it, but I feel like the way
Are you talking about How to Train Your Dragon 2?
Yes, it's a good movie, but so it's if I were to rank it, it's How to Train Your Dragon, then you just rewatched them all.
Yeah,
so.
no. When the father jumped into in front of that scene, it hit me. So yeah, I got pretty emotional. Like for my ranking right now, it's How to Train Your Dragon 1. It's basically 1, 2, and then 3. I just feel like 3. that one ending is pretty sad because it's a goodbye from Hiccup to Toothless. But I don't know, just the loss of the father is pretty. It's a touchy story for me. I won't dig a little bit further into that, but I mean, I think for you, it can't go wrong if you do. As long as How to Train Your Dragon 1 is number one, I think that's.
I would have to rewatch because it's been a little bit. But I just love the way How to Train Your Dragon 3 ends, and it's like a full circle moment. And I don't think a lot of trilogies have that type of ending.
Yeah.
Of course, like the original Star Wars has a great ending. I mean, I like Return of the Jedi a lot more than other people. I like the Ewoks. A lot of people hate the Ewoks, but I'm just one of those. I like cute little creatures in Star Wars or any animated movie, or not animated, but any movie in general.
Yeah.
I usually like those type of characters. So I think that's one reason why I was okay with Return of the Jedi. But I just love movies that with the trilogy that have a good ending and it's like satisfying. And I don't want them to make another one because I was so satisfied with that ending.
Yeah.
So that's why one of the reasons why How to Train Your Dragon's one of my favorite trilogies of all time.
So did you watch How to Train Your Dragon, the short one? Like
the short one?
About the kids, like Hiccup and Astrid kids?
No, I didn't even know there was another.
Yeah, it's like a 20-minute video, like a short.
Is it produced by DreamWorks?
I think it is. I think it's on Peacock.
I mean, I can check it out. If you guys want to check it out, go for it. But I've never checked it out.
I haven't. Yeah, it's the reason why, you know how in Epic Universe there's the baby Toothless. How there's some black and some white.
Oh yeah. Oh wait.
Even though they're from the third, the
they
end
are,
of the
okay,
they are from the end of the third one. But they go in more in depth with it. I think from what I heard, from what I read. Yeah.
I mean, I got a lot of hate when I said the Stitch anime sucks.
Oh really?
I never watched it, but like I just.
Oh. I had never watched it. I didn't even know about it until you told me about it.
There's a Stitch anime, and then there's a Chinese version of Stitch as well. I mean, when I read the synopsis, I was like, didn't really seem like Stitch because in the Stitch anime, Stitch abandons Lilo.
Oh wow!
So it's weird. No,
Is she grown up?
I don't. She is grown up, but like I just don't think Lilo and Stitch would ever separate. So that was just kind of a weird part for me, or I don't know. But I probably have to watch it and give it a chance instead of just reading the synopsis. There's another topic I wanted to talk with you about because you watched the animated How to Train Your Dragon right before you watched the live action. Do you think that was a good idea or a bad idea?
To be honest, there were some scene where I watched in the live action. I was like, wait, was this in the animated? And then I totally forgot. And then next, oh yeah, this was in the animated. So I feel like it's hard to tell. I mean, I feel like it was still fine for me because I'm still like comparing it apple to apples. But I guess maybe for me, even though I watched the animated one, the live action one still hits. Of course, it's not as good as the animated, but there were still some scenes where like, oh, I remember this scene. It got me feeling the exact same way as I did when I watched the animated one.
So I guess the way is, do you think it was better that you watched it right before, or do you prefer that you wouldn't have watched it? Did it enhance your experience of the live action movie?
50-50. I am kind of glad that I watched it because I get to see if they really, because before we watched How to Train Your Dragon, I heard that it was shot for shot. I think that was the reason why I watched the anime one first, because I wanted to see if it's really shot for shot. Because again, it's been a while since I watched the animated one. The other half is I kind of wish I didn't, because it's like a refresher, and it's just good to just enjoy the movie for what it is instead of like, because there are times where when I watch it, I'll be like, oh, the animated one's a little bit better. Oh, this one's a little bit better. Wow, but again, there were times where I was like, ooh, just the world building behind in the movie is just so great.
I think that's what makes it hard when they make remakes, or like not even like a remake, like a live action remake, or just any remake in general. You're always going to compare it to the original.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just split 50-50, where people are either want it to be exactly like the original or they want changes. But the problem is, like, for me, like I said earlier, like, what's the point of making the movie if you're doing the exact same thing that they did before?
Yeah, no.
Because I don't think there's ever going to be a time, or there ever was a time, where the remake was better than the original when they do the exact same thing over again. Um, Off the top of my head, I can't think of a remake better than the original right now.
So with that said, because I know you prefer How to Train a Dragon over, Lilo. You prefer the live action Lilo and Stitch over How to Train a Dragon. Do you? Is there any other live action movies that you prefer over How to Train a Dragon? I'm going to give you a list of live action remakes, and you're going to tell me if you prefer this over How to Train a Dragon. Aladdin.
I prefer How to Train Your Dragon. I feel like Aladdin has good parts to it, but overall, How to Train Your Dragon just was made better than the scenes hidden. I love Toothless. I think I just like How to Train Your Dragon over Aladdin in general more.
Dumbo.
I never watched Dumbo. I heard a lot of bad things about Dumbo, so I pass.
Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh. How to Train Your Dragon. I don't remember a lot of Beauty and the Beast, but from what I remember, I liked it. But I think I still prefer How to Train Your Dragon.
The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid 100% is better How to Train Your Dragon. I love the music in it. I just feel like Ariel was great. A lot of people are going to hate me, but I think I prefer the live action Little Mermaid maybe to Little Mermaid, but it's been a long time since I seen it. But I think there's one song in the Little Mermaid. What is it? Scuttlebutt, or the song by Scuttle is terrible. If they take that song out, the Little Mermaid live action is better than the animated. But I think animated is better because of that song.
Lion King.
Well, Lion King was terrible. Lion King, they had no emotion. Lion King animated movie is one of the best animated movies made, and the live action was just worse in every single way. So definitely How to Train Your Dragon.
Snow White.
Snow White's terrible.
Mulan.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely How to Train Your Dragon. Snow White's terrible. I feel like the dwarves, the CGI dwarves, I couldn't get used to. There's great songs in Snow White. And Gal Gadot is very, very bad. Maybe one of the worst villains I've seen in a movie in a long time. So yeah, How to Train Your Dragon easily.
Mulan.
Mulan is terrible. Mulan is like one of my favorite movies of all time, and they shit on it.
There's no singing.
It's not even that. She has superpowers. When does
that
Mulan
too.
have superpowers? How to Train Your Dragon's way better.
Jungle Book.
So there's multiple Jungle Books. So which one are we talking about? We're talking about like the old one back in the 90s? Talking about the one from Disney or the Netflix one?
The old one.
I've never seen the old one.
Oh, you haven't?
No. I feel like it was Tarzan, but it wasn't.
Oh, then Mowgli.
Mowgli? Okay, Mowgli is definitely better than How to Train Your Dragon. I think that might be the best live action remake. I think it's either that or 101 Dalmatian. I would say those are my top two. Well, okay, going back to One Piece. I know you're a huge One Piece fan. I haven't seen any One Piece. I'm sorry, guys. So is One Piece more of like a 1-to-1 as kind of like to the animated, or do they make like creative changes that fans may or may not like?
It's close to a 1-to-1. The only difference is because they're trying to jam pack everything into I think it was like 13 episodes, where in the anime it's like over 13. So they were trying to cut down the fillers. They did cut down the fillers, and they did cut it a little bit shorter. It's basically more condensed, but it's a very close one to shot for shot.
So if I were to start One Piece, I've watched like the first like 30 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say I've never watched One Piece before. If someone were to never watch One Piece before, would you tell them just to watch the live action since they take out the fillers? Or would you tell them, no, you have to start with the anime?
There are some scenes in the anime that really hits. I won't say a particular scene because in case, other you guys have not watched it yet.
Well, okay. One Piece has been out for how many years? Like, spoilers is fine. I'm probably never going to watch it.
So in the anime, when Name, there's a character, she stabbed herself, and the only reason why she did that was because she's been working for this bad guy that killed her whole village or took over her whole village, and he basically like backstabbed her, and she got really pissed. And that scene where Luffy came in and stopped her from stabbing more, it hits in the anime. But I forgot the actress name who played Nami in the Netflix live action remake. Did a really good job.
That's another question I have. So when I was watching One Piece, they show all of the character meetups like for the is it the pirates or the One Piece or I don't know, like the crew, the Straw Hat crew, right? That's what their name.
Yeah.
Do you think they did those to justice, like the meetings of all the Straw Hat members? Because like there's the guy with the sword, there's the girl, there's the guy with the long nose. I don't know any of the names. I'm so sorry.
So I feel like they did a pretty good job portraying each of the characters, and they did the meaning behind One Piece. For Luffy, it's nakama. In Japanese, I think it's friends. So he went above and beyond, and he would do anything to save his friends, which is what One Piece Luffy does in the actual animated series. Yeah.
Do you like Chopper?
Oh, bro, when I saw Chopper on the Tadum, ooh, he looks good.
You like the voice?
I like the voice. I actually really like the voice.
Because I was like reading comments online, and I don't know if it was split, but like the comments that I saw, a lot of people were hating on the voice. So what do you think about that?
I mean, to each their own, but I really love because it still has that childish kid voice that in the anime that does. I have not seen Chopper in the English dub, but in the Japanese, it's pretty close to that the voice.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. I'm actually pretty excited for season 2.
When does season 2 come out? I don't even know.
I think there's no release date for it, but it's it's going to be late 2026.
Late 2026? Oh, damn, you guys have to wait a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a while.
Do you think they're going to go all the way to episode 1000?
Oh my god! At that time, they might be the actors might be too old. I mean,
I don't think it's possible.
I don't think it's possible. But if they condense everything, maybe. But I mean, if they condense it too much, it might be bad. I mean, another live action remake that we recently watched a while back is Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, they condense a lot.
The live action Avatar: The Last Airbender changed too much.
Yeah.
When I want a change from a live action remake, I want them to make creative differences, but not to the point where it's going to change parts of the story. I honestly think the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender is going to do Zutara.
Oh,
and there's no reason to do Zutara. They took out the Cave of Lovers. They just took a lot of storylines between Aang and Katara that kind of like developed their relationship. I hope in season 2 they kind of cut back from that and they have more Aang Katara. But yeah, if they're fundamentally changing the heart or like parts of the show that need to be in there, then that's when I have a problem.
Plus, we also in the live action, Aang didn't get a chance to be a kid.
Yeah, he's already like focused on his mission, and that was never a part of it. I mean, I can talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender and fundamental problems with that show because I think that's my favorite animated show of all time. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about that like another episode probably. But we also saw another movie. We just saw Predators. What is it?
Killers of Killers.
Yeah. So we just saw Predators: Killers of Killers.
Yeah.
So would you watch it or skip it?
I would watch it.
It
was good. This one, because as I was watching it, I was like, oh, should they have made this in a live action to see how But I think I prefer it as it is right now, animation.
So yeah, definitely, I'm also a watch it. This 100% is better because it's animated.
Yeah.
It shows like how much more like the creators behind the movie or like the shows can do when it's an animated movie. Like some of the kills in this movie are crazy. I don't know. These are just like, so basically, if you guys haven't seen it, a small synopsis of it is it's 3 different stories. It's an anthology. 3 different stories. So the first story is about a Viking. The second story is about a samurai. Third story is about like World War II. First story, Viking, it's like a hulked up like predator.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know how they would do that in live action.
Exactly. Yep. No.
Second one was a badass samurai predator, basically mimicking them. And then the third one was I think this is the first time we've ever seen
a predator as a pilot, right? In a plane.
Yeah. Some of the scenes with the plane were crazy.
It was wild.
I don't know. You know more about like the Star Wars planes, but this one was like probably one of my favorite planes I've ever seen in animation.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it does not beat the U-wing from Star Wars, but it's pretty dope. The stuff it can do, it's crazy. It reminds me of like the Transformers. You know, the live actions ship,
Oh yeah,
one
yeah.
of the bounty hunters ship. So it looks so it's like it's kind of cool to see how that they I don't know if they got the inspiration from Transformers, but it was cool to see like you see that ship and you know predators they're known to be like bounty hunters in a way. They hunt for fun. Um and just to see like that ship is like, oh, that's definitely a bounty hunter
Mhm.
ship.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I was first watching it, I wasn't as into it. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. But I feel like they connected them very well together. And then we actually see the predators like planet and what it looks like. And then we just see them like all gathered up.
That's our first time too, huh?
We've never seen the predator
Right?
planet. That's
Yeah.
the first time we've ever seen
Yeah.
the predator planet.
Yeah.
So and then there was this animated show or no this animated movie found a way to connect every single predator movie, and they could bring back people from previous predator
It's-
movies. Because at the end, right, we see the girl
yeah.
from Prey.
Yeah.
So like my first thought was like, are we getting like an animated Arnold? Like
Yeah. It's definitely I think it's definitely a setup for the next one, right? Badlands.
I don't know if
Predator
it's a
Badlands.
setup, but it's a way to connect all the Predator films.
Mm.
And I think it's a way to connect the aliens too, because you can connect the alien movies. We just had alien. So honestly, Predator and Alien are on a huge like run right now. We had this Predator movie. We had Prey, which was like one of the best Predator movies in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Mhm.
And Alien Romulus is personally one of my favorite Alien movies. I know a lot of people don't think the same, but I'm just excited for Predator versus Alien, and I think this makes me want a Predator versus Alien animated movie. I think that would go hard.
Actually, that would be dope. I was just going to ask you if you wanted to see another Alien versus Predator. Are you excited for Alien? Is it Alien Earth on?
I am excited. I think they just had a trailer.
Yeah.
And I saw like a little bit about it. I think it's a prequel to the original
Yeah.
Alien. But of course I'm gonna give it a chance, but I'm not gonna have high hopes for it. But we'll see when it comes down to it. I don't have like a lot of thoughts on it. But what about you?
I'm the same. I think I watched the trailer. It kind of I kind of wasn't that interested in it because I mean, but I'm pretty sure they did it on purpose. There was not a lot of alien. It was just only that certain scene. But I get it. But I'm always down for an alien movie or
They're
a show.
also I think they're filming Alien Romulus too, right?
That I did not
I think
know.
I saw that on X or Twitter.
Oh,
but
that's so cool.
I think they said they're gonna start shooting. I could be wrong. I'll look at it. don't take it for face value, guys, if it's wrong. But I could have sworn I read something where they said they're filming Alien Romulus too.
So, jumping back to the Predator movie that we just watched, what would you rate it out of 10?
That one's hard. I would probably say like a solid 8.5. I'm more like I don't want to give things a 10 out of 10, but I do think that this is probably my favorite Predator movie, if not second. I think Prey is up there. I think the original Predator with Arnold's also up there. Those are the ones that I have in mind. I also like the original Alien vs Predator, but I know fundamentally that's not a good movie. But it's just like, as a kid, I loved watching that movie. When you watch it now, it's not the same. But I think this one just has like everything you would want in a Predator movie. It has hunting. It has great people to go against the Predator, and then there's different variations of the Predator that we've never seen before. And then we see things, and then they're just opening up more of the lore that we've never seen before. And this opens up so much more that they can do in the future. What about you?
I give it and also 8.5 out of 10. What I really like about it is all the Predators. I think they're called Utah.
I don't know the lore for Predator.
Yeah.
So.
But we know what we're talking. What I meant. They all look different. Like if you see like the live action ones, some of them they look pretty similar and they have the same physical build. Like you mentioned earlier, how the Viking one, it's like a Hulk size Predator. It was kind of cool to see, and then so it's cool to see that there's different sizes of Predator. So that's one thing. Just the gore, the cutthroat, the slashers. Oh,
I'm down to
amazing.
see like predators fighting in space with freaking their spacecrafts too. Because I'm a sucker for like space fight scenes. I love Top Gun. I love the Star Wars. Like Episode 3, the beginning is great. I don't know, just give me a space fight with Predator versus Alien. That'd be sick. We've seen alien ships, I think. Oh, no, we've never seen.
No, we never seen.
We've
I
never
don't
seen
think
an
we've
alien
seen
ship.
an
The
alien ship.
aliens
Yeah.
are just always on human ships.
Yeah, they always. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'd be sick to see like a.
Would they even have a ship?
I don't know, man.
It would be weird
Probably not.
Question. You know the Predator, the warlord in that movie. You know how he has all that tails behind him.
Just braid.
Or, I was going to ask you. Do you think those are alien? The tail of the aliens?
Oh, you might be right.
Because I don't know. It looks.
Or it's like the skeleton.
Because I saw one that has like a stinger look.
I thought it was just his braids, to be honest. But I think you're cooking.
Mm.
I think it might be the alien skull, not the skull, the alien
the
skeleton.
tail, right?
Yeah, it might be the alien skeleton.
Cool.
That would be cool.
That means that they have done something before. Like maybe they fought, or
no, they've definitely fought. Well, so at the end of the movie,
yeah,
they show a bunch of cages of them all frozen. There was like this weird ass alien that we've never seen, and then there was a human and another human,
yeah.
and of course a prey girl. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they already fought aliens. I'm 100% sure they did, because I think they're gonna do an Alien vs Predator movie. They were talking about it.
I'm not sure if you were the only one, but when we watched, so after the Viking scene, right, and then we saw the samurai. Did you thought it was going to be like a multiverse kind of thing, or like a time travel where Predator time travel to kidnap one of the killers and then bring them to the ship? Because it was a big time gap. Viking was like in 841, and then the samurai was like 1604 or 1641. Do you think that, or you thought they were in a cold capsule?
I honestly just didn't know how they were gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
I like when we were watching it, I was like, the samurai was in 1600, and then we went to 1940s, and I was like, how did that happen? They ended up freezing them, which is pretty cool. And then they refreeze the girl. It sucks for her, but I don't know. Yeah, there was I didn't know about I wasn't really thinking about behind it, like how they were gonna do it. I was just worried about how they were gonna get home, but I'm pretty sure they're like.
I think at the
end they're like 20, 30 ships that are going after them, and the samurai doesn't have a right arm, so I think they're pretty much cooked.
That's true.
Yeah, it's cooked.
You think they're gonna survive at the end?
No, I literally just said they're gonna die. I mean, they could freeze them, but I don't know. I think that story's done. I don't think we're gonna revisit those three.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
I mean,
okay. What if you know how they froze the Viking girl? What if maybe, I don't know if it's gonna be in the Badlands, but what if they both managed to unfreeze the Viking girl, and I think her name is Naru from Prey, the girl. They both managed to. I mean, unfreeze.
So I think the Viking girl has the best chance of making an appearance, but the samurai is cooked. He doesn't got a right arm. There's no reason. And then, in my opinion, the American guy was the most useless one out. They made him the most useful one, but in a fight, he's the most useless. Easily.
Yeah.
So I don't see why they would bring him back. But I guess bouncing off of that, out of the three stories, which one was your favorite?
I think it's the samurai. I really love the samurai. I mean, brothers fighting against brothers, like that was cool. And in the beginning too, like it shows you why they are fighting in a way. So that was cool. I actually thought the other brother was gonna live and the one with the beard was gonna die. Yeah, but no, the other one ended up living. So.
Yeah, I was kind of confused because when we first watched the beginning of that, I thought they showed them as kids and then they showed them as like adults.
Adults, yeah.
Pushing the boat. So I was like, oh, they're both gonna live. But obviously that's not the case. Yeah. The brother dies and then the other one loses an arm. So I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it. But which one, out of all the Predators, which one was your favorite?
The samurai one. He's so cool. But the pilot is actually pretty cool too, because like you said, we never seen a Predator on a plane before, so it was kind of cool to see him with the thing right here. But no, I'm still gonna go for the one in the samurai.
Which was the best Predator kill? Well, not Predator kill. Which wait, yeah, how would I put it? Which one was the best way the Predator died out of the three? Or like because they killed them in three different ways. Like
yeah, they
it
did.
was unique.
I still think it's the samurai one. I
Se-
mean, to see the two brothers, because I actually thought the brothers were going to fight against each other, but they end up killing the predator instead.
So for me personally, I actually like the last Predator kill from the American.
The plane.
When we were watching it, I was like, this guy's out of his plane, like smashing on the thing. I was like, this is exactly like Mission Impossible, but in animated.
Crazy,
You know, it
yeah,
was crazy.
yeah.
But I just think the way he did it was the most unique, where
Yeah.
he jumps off the plane. The plane kind of like does a 360 and hits the
Yeah.
plane and it hits itself. I thought that was the coolest kill. It was very unique. I don't know. I was just like, this. It's crazy that Tom Cruise did that actually, and in the animated movie, it still is cool. But like, just to think about Tom Cruise doing that in real life is just insane to me. He's bonkers. Like,
Oh, so that popped in your head too when you saw that scene.
100%. I was like, this is Tom Cruise.
So if they were to make this into a live action, do you know which cast you would use for each of these characters?
I wouldn't want them to make it a live action. I'm on the leave it alone. Leave animated movies alone. Don't make everything a live action.
I totally agree with
we
you.
need to get out of the mindset of, because Disney can cook. They can still make great movies, but they're just looking at like, oh, Lion King made them $1 billion. Lilo and Stitch is probably going to make them $1 billion.
Yeah.
So like, Snow White bombed, and they said, oh, we're not going to make it, but they're going to make more because it makes money. And I'm part of the problem because I'm watching the movies, but like, they need to just go back to original movies. I mean, jumping off this, so everyone thinks Pixar lost their sauce, but honestly, that's not the case. Let me read off the last 6 movies that came out. So we have Onward, then we have Soul, Luca, Turning Red, Lightyear, Elemental, and Inside Out 2. That was actually 7. But out of all these movies are all original movies except for Inside Out 2. And honestly, the only one that wasn't that great was Lightyear. But everything else on this list is some of the best Pixar movies I've seen. I don't know. You want to go more in depth?
Yeah, no. I honestly think Onward's underrated. I really love that movie. It's one of the movies that actually made me cry because it's about a kid who's been looking for his father, with his older brother, of course. But it turns out throughout the whole movie, his older brother has been taking care of him, and that's the father figure that he needs. And that's when he realized, oh, I have my father right here.
Yeah, I honestly think like what happened with the Pixar movies is if Onward, Soul, Luca, Turning Red actually get a traditional release and are in the theaters, because all these movies came out during COVID times. So I'm pretty sure they were either released on Disney Plus at the same time or were never in the theater and just straight to Disney Plus. Onward makes a lot of money. Soul is like, it's such a good movie in so many different ways. If you guys haven't watched Soul in a long time, 100% rewatch this movie. It's hard for me to rank it right now, but it's definitely top 10 like Pixar movies. Soul is amazing. Luca's like in the mid area, but it's still a great movie. I love the story of Luca. Turning Red has great moments in it as well. I know it got a lot of hate because of the story, but I personally loved it. The music was great in it as well.
Yeah. It's fanboying.
And then Elemental hits close to home for both of us.
Yeah.
We're both Asian, of course. I mean,
yeah.
But like, it shows a really good story of an immigrant. And the way they talk about it's really relatable. And the love story is one of the best love stories in a movie, I think. Like, I rewatched this movie like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, damn, this movie's like a great love story. And it's crazy because when they were marketing this movie, they did not market it as an immigrant story or a love story at all. I'm like, this is crazy. So it would not surprise me if the next movie that comes out, Elio, has had zero marketing.
And it's a good movie.
It might be one of the better movies this year,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to do terrible in the box office. And then Pixar is going to be like, okay, we need to go back to Inside Out 3. When they still cooking with original movies.
It's funny. You actually, because I saw you watch Elemental, it also got me into watching Elemental. Oh, actually, no, you played a clip. And that got me into, I was like, oh, I was in the mood for Elemental. And dude, that ending, when the daughter, oh shit, am I about to get teared up? Oh no. So that's how much the Elemental means a lot to me. That ending when the daughter bowed down to the father asking for the approval. Oh, It's so good.
Yeah, no, it's just and
It's a
then
good ending.
the music's great. The
Oh yeah.
visuals are beautiful.
It's
Um,
spectacular.
yeah, I mean,
The concept is amazing,
I
dude.
mm,
Fire, because like she she's an outcast because fire means destruction, but clearly, it doesn't.
I was gonna also add, they came out with a series called Win or Lose. The only reason I started watching it is because I saw clips on TikTok and Instagram of people reacting to watching it. And I was like, hold up. Like the story's kind of cooking here. So I sat down and watched it. And then I watched it and I was like, bruh, you need to watch this. It's actually really good. The way it's set up, it's like each episode gets better and they're uncovering more of the story the more you get into it.
Yeah.
And by the end, you're like, this is an amazing show. Like, what did I just watch?
I was not expecting that. When you told me to watch it, I did not. I had very low expectation.
There was no marketing.
Yeah, there was nothing. I didn't even heard about it until you told me about it, and I was like, because okay, so it popped up in Disney Plus, right? And usually it would be like on the first thing you see. I see it, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this because it's not like a typical Disney like.
You thought Pixar lost their sauce,
Yeah,
but they didn't lose their sauce.
but yeah, no, seriously. But when you told me to watch it, first episode, like in the beginning wasn't really, but then as it progressed further, wow, like it's not just about baseball. It's literally about these kids. Like each life is different, and it's like there's some like what the mother was going through some stuff, right?
So, like okay. So what's great about all Pixar movies is a little kid can watch it and love it.
Yeah.
But then as an adult, you can watch that same Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And there's so many messages and hidden things in that show or in that movie that hit hard or hit close to you.
Yeah.
Win or Lose is the same way.
It's the one, yeah.
Basically, if you guys haven't seen Win or Lose, it's set up where each episode is about a different character in the show. So like I think the first episode's just about like a girl that's really bad at baseball or softball. Second one's about the umpire.
Right. Yeah.
And then from there and there. But as you're watching the show, you uncover more of the storyline in general. And then by the end, all the storylines connect.
Yeah.
But that one episode with there's a mom and her little kid or her kid.
Her daughter, yeah.
Is her daughter. So they have the daughter episode first, right?
The daughter episode first.
So you have the daughter episode first. You see the perspective of the daughter. And the daughter is basically like that one kid that where you think her mom's a mess, but she's doing everything. She's so much more grown up than she should be at that age. She has a single parent.
Yeah.
The parent seems like she's a mess. She's going through a bunch of stuff. She's so much more grown up than she be. And then you're like, oh, why is the mom like this? She's so terrible.
Yeah, terrible. But
and then the next episode's about the mom.
It was the cell phone scene that got me. Like from the kid's perspective, right? She's on the phone, not taking care of it. Like she's not caring about her daughter, right? But in the mom perspective, she's just trying to find. Was it like trying to find a job or?
So she was definitely trying to find a. She was having difficulty finding a job. She was doing like DoorDash, things like that. But it was just like you saw the perspective of the mom, and you saw how much she was trying to do to help her kid, and how much she loved her kid, and she wasn't the mom that you think from the outside. So it's like a lot of cases like that where you're looking at people from the outside and you're like judging them, but you don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
And Win or Lose perfectly shows that because as a viewer, they formulate it so well because as a viewer, you're judging the mom so hard.
That's what it did. Yeah.
But then when you see the mom story, you're like, shoot, I shouldn't have judged her that hard. She's going through a lot. She's trying her best. And that episode was one of my favorite episodes. It got me very emotional. And I was like, damn, like this is what they wanted us to do. And they do it in such a great way. Sorry for the spoilers. It's been out for a while, but definitely if you guys have not checked out Win or Lose,
definitely get a chance to watch it.
Yeah,
it's really good.
If you're any Pixar, I mean, I think most people are Pixar fans, like especially original Pixar.
Yeah.
It feels like Pixar, and it's exactly what Pixar is, why Pixar does so well.
I think this might be better than most of the Pixar movies.
It's hard to say because you got to think like most Pixar movies have an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. This one has a lot more runtime. So,
but if you condense it all together,
I still think it's more. It's like
really?
maybe 3 hours, 4 hours.
Oh yeah,
they have more time to develop the story. But like, man, I don't know what you're doing at Disney, but like, market your movies, man, because there's still some of the best things that are coming out, and people are not watching them because they don't know about them.
Yeah, no, I agree. no. I totally agree with everything you said. I don't think Pixar lost its sauce. Again, like you mentioned earlier, Buzz Lightyear is the worst Pixar movie I have seen. No?
The Good Dinosaurs there.
I actually rather watch The Good Dinosaur over Pixar
Okay.
Buzz Lightyear.
What made Buzz Lightyear bad?
There was nothing. There was no meaning behind it. Good Dinosaur, like
There's a meaning behind Lightyear. I can't think off the top.
friendship wise though, like it was just a kid and the dinosaur. They just hung out together.
I just did not like the Good Dinosaur. Cars 2 is worse than Lightyear.
So you rather watch Lightyear than Cars 2?
Okay, I'm cooking here. Lightyear's not a bad movie. It's not a Pixar movie. If you put a different thing, Pixar is so highly rated and so like you just want Pixar movies because Pixar movies are always good.
Yeah.
If it's like a random company that comes out with Lightyear, 100% people are gonna love that movie.
Yeah. I see that. No. Yeah.
I'm part of the problem. I'm like Lightyear's not good, but if you take it out of Pixar, it's gonna be a good movie. It's shot beautifully. There's beautiful.
Yeah.
The story is just not as great, but like
I think if you maybe because I don't know much about I think because of the word because it's Buzz Lightyear.
Because Toy Story is so good.
Yeah.
Toy Story.
Exactly.
The Toy Story,
I think that's the reason why. I think if it was like a different character, it might have been good to me.
Because everyone wants to know the meaning behind Buzz Lightyear or his story.
Yeah.
Voice actors probably weren't the greatest either. You have Chris Evans as Lightyear, which maybe they should have just done the original voice actor of Buzz. I don't know, but how was I gonna put it? I feel like there was like things holding Buzz Lightyear back behind the scenes that we just aren't aware of as well.
Yeah. No, I see it. I am excited to see Elio. It just sucks we won't get to watch it for a while, but
quote me here. I would not be surprised if Elio's one of the better movies this year. That would not be so. I would not be. I would be more surprised to hear that Elio is a bad movie as opposed to like. I feel like the general public for Elio is gonna be like, "Wow, this movie is actually pretty good."
It should have. It's to me. It's gonna be like Elemental. You know how Elemental.
That was upsetting too because like when we watched Elemental, I was like,
"What happened?" Like
why didn't they market it?
Because there was not a lot of marketing. We did not expect Elemental to be good. I mean, I that's how I felt like coming into that movie, and then
Elemental is better than Inside Out 2, and Inside Out 2 made way more money.
No, 100%. And then I think on like when it came streaming, it made more money, right? Did it?
I think word of mouth. What the thing with Elemental was the first couple weeks it didn't make a lot of money, but then it was one of those movies that kept doing good over time, and I think it made a pretty good amount of money. But it should have made more because off the jump, it was like one of the worst like Pixar openings, I think. And I think Elio's projected to be one of the worst Pixar openings ever. So I just don't understand. They're marketing the shit out of Lilo and Stitch, which was, I like Lilo and Stitch, but like, why are you not putting that marketing into Pixar movies when Pixar movies were like easily can make you like $500-600 million in the box office?
It's probably because it's original. They're scared. People are not gonna like
COVID ruined Pixar movie. COVID ruined the executives' minds of Pixar movies to think that they are not as good as they used to be. I think the general public too.
Yeah, because I think the way I see it too, I think nostalgia kind of plays a factor that like people want to see these kind of movies. I mean, if you think about it, we got a live action Lilo and Stitch. We got a live action How to Train a Dragon. Aren't we getting a live action Tangled, or that's been paused?
I think that's on pause because of how bad
Moana.
Did.
We're getting a live action Moana. I'm pretty sure they're gonna market the shit out of that one.
That's why I'm not a fan of live actions.
Yeah. No, we're both not a fan of live action.
In general, like remakes, like okay, so we can go into remakes, right? Where I don't like a shot for shot remake.
Yeah.
Karate Kid. So I love the original Karate Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, which is different. A lot of people are upset because it's kung fu instead of karate. They're like, it's karate. But I think that's one of the better Karate Kid movies.
No, 100% agree. Because we both watch Karate Kid, the one with Jaden Smith, and as when I first watched it, I was not a fan. But now that I'm older, I can see the journey behind Jaden Smith and the reason why that those stuff happened to him and why he needs to do it. And I think the way they execute the story is pretty well, pretty
So
good.
yeah, it still has like the core aspects
Mhm.
of Karate
Yeah.
Kid movies,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just little things here and there that they change. That's not
Yeah.
like 1-to-1 of the original
Mhm.
Karate Kid. And a lot of people watched the one that just came out, and there's parts that I like about it and parts that I don't. So like the things that I like is the originality behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Is I like the boxing storyline where the Karate Kid,
That was cool.
yeah, the Karate Kid's
Yes.
teaching
Yes.
somebody else, and I thought that was a good twist. But I think the problem with the new Karate Kid is it's trying to be too many movies in one.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh shoot, we're straying too much away from a Karate Kid movie. So we need to rush the ending and have an actual traditional Karate Kid. And I think that's what hurts it a lot.
To be honest, yeah, when I watched it, I was more focused on the first half of the movie. The second half, it was whatever. I was not a. Even the training with Jackie Chan and they brought
Ralph Macchio.
yeah,
Mhm.
LaRusso. To me, I feel like LaRusso shouldn't be in the movie anyways.
I definitely think they were like, oh, we need to incorporate him like last minute, and they put him in.
Nostalgia, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, you know, one thing that I really did enjoy was just the relationship between Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio. I think they have a lot of good chemistry and a lot of good moments in it.
I do agree with you on that one. That is one I do like because it was kind of funny, even though it was kind of weird to see Mr. Han, Jackie Chan's character, to be because he was not a goofball in the one with Jaden Smith, so it was kind of
He was a goofball.
to that extent.
Yeah,
Really? Oh.
because so when you start off with him, right,
Yeah.
he's more like reserved.
Yeah.
Same thing as like Mr. Miyagi, where he's like to himself. But
yeah,
once he got closer with Jaden in the story, you don't remember the scenes where they're on the boat and Jaden Smith's trying to like balance it and he's over here shaking the boat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wait, or am I getting confused with the other movie? No, wait, hold up. I might be confused with the original. No, but there's definitely moments in Jaden Smith's Jackie Chan where Jackie Chan is a goofball. Like they kind of the closer he gets with Jaden Smith, he's a goofball. So I think it works with this one because he's already close with the student because that's like his protege.
Okay, yeah. It just I guess the way when I recently watched Jaden Smith one, I just feel like Jackie Chan was more broken because of what happened to his family. So I guess throughout the whole movie, he was more serious and just wasn't to that extent. Because
so you like more serious Jackie Chan as opposed to the goofy guy.
No, I still enjoyed it. It was just a big 180. Like like it was a little too much from what I'm like. You know, there were times where it's like you know what? I'm kind of might eat my words now because there are scenes where I was like, oh, he was like to the LaRusso, kung fu is better. No, you don't need karate. No, kung fu, karate. But overall, I do agree with you. The scenes with Jackie Chan and LaRusso, good chemistry.
Yeah, I think I just wanted more of that. So like, I would rather either them do the storyline with the boxer and just the boxer, or the storyline where they're trying to train. Of course, the problem was with the Karate Kid. The villain was terrible.
Oh,
one of the worst villains in Karate Kid.
So bad.
I didn't like how they kind of tried to force a relationship.
Yeah,
the relationship didn't seem like it worked. So take out those two storylines, have a better villain. Or just have the adults be the villain with the boxer and just do the boxing storyline. And then maybe another movie, have Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio train somebody else. Because I just wanted either more Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio or I wanted more of the boxing story. It just felt like two movies in one and I didn't know which movie it wanted to be.
The same thing with the girl too. I was not a fan of the romance. It would have been fine if she was just like a best friend.
Yeah, I felt like they didn't have chemistry.
No.
Like even the Jaden Smith girl had more chemistry together.
Yes, no, I agree. And they were not even they're best friends. So yeah, no. So where would you put the new Karate Kid?
If I were to like rank the Karate Kids, so if I were to rank all the Karate Kids, I would put the original first, then I would put Jaden Smith second, and then I would probably put the Karate Kid Legends third. No. Okay, if I were to rank all the Karate Kids, I would put the original first, Then I'd put the Jaden Smith one second, but it's a lot closer than I thought it would be because we rewatched it. Third one would be Karate Kid 2. I like the storyline of him going back to Okinawa. I think the villain was actually pretty good in that one too. And then I would probably put the Karate Kid Legends. And then I'm not a fan of the third Karate Kid. I think it's a mess. I think LaRusso doesn't know what he wants to be. I feel like he's not a villain and they're forcing him to be in Cobra Kai. It doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next Karate Kid is last.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about that one.
I'm not a fan. I feel like there's gonna be some people in the comments are gonna be like, I love that one. She's my Karate Kid, but that's not for me.
It's not for me either.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with most of your rankings. I would put Jaden Smith as number one.
So what would be your ranking for the Karate Kids then?
So it'll be Jaden Smith number one, and then it'll be Karate Kid 1, and then Karate Kid 2. Because I do agree with you. I like the villain there. I think it's the Japanese guy from Okinawa, right?
Yeah, I don't know the name off the top.
Yeah,
I know he's in Cobra Kai.
I know he talk. Yeah,
but
and then it'll be Karate Kid Legends, and then Karate Kid 3, and then the one that we shall not call. Yeah.
Okay. So we've been talking for a while. We've been yapping. I don't know how long we've been talking.
We just love to yap.
It's been like over an hour.
Yeah.
We've been yapping for a while. I think this is a good time to end it. Bear with us if we're actually going to post this episode. This is episode 0 of the Ohana Talk podcast. It's kind of going to be kind of similar vibe to this. We're kind of just going to talk about things, maybe things going on in pop culture or things like that. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in, and welcome to the journey of Ohana Talk podcast.
The OTP. If there's anything you guys have any suggestions of like topics or anything that you want us to talk about, yeah, just feel free to let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, segments, anything like that.
Yeah, anything. Yeah. If you think we yapping too much, let us know. But yeah, we just love to yap. But yeah, also, thank you.